Hey guys, what's up? This is my third time trying to do this video, but I had to stop, feed my dogs, and then my camera worked for a second, but then once I got my dogs back in from outside, I come back and get ready to start recording and the camera don't work. So I had to go back to the camera I'm using now, which makes everything a lot darker for some reason. But anyhow, we're going to get into this. It says, stop wearing bonnets and getting into confrontations. White women finally address black fatigue. And of course, I'm a white man, just going to give my point on this. I've noticed I haven't looked at the algorithm or anything that YouTube tells me if this is a good thing or not, because right now I only have 47, 50 subscribers. I set my goals low. I want to make it to 1,000 so I can start making some money. By the way, I do have a Discord. It's Nubs the Electrician, also Cash App, and also on X. Anyhow, so I set my goal low. Said let me make it to 50, and I'm almost there. If you would please help, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you'd like for me to react to. But yeah, I haven't looked at the algorithm. I've just noticed I'm interested in this because back in the day, no one really said anything. Because as far as I know, white people have always tried to get along with black people. But it's always been the same response. And it's mainly a Democratic response. Because the Democrat elites, they'll sit there and call Trump a Nazi white supremacist. Meanwhile, they're putting Joe Biden in office that went to a KKK member's damn funeral and gave a eulogy. So that's how they work. I think it's the rich, powerful elite, and they're getting their minions and pawns to go out and do the bidding for them. That's all it is. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into it and let's see what we got here.
Talk about Shiloh Hendrix, the woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old
I totally didn't expect her to say out of pocket. She doesn't look like the type to say out of pocket, but she said out of pocket.
is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this.
But that's also, see, I never got in trouble for going through someone's purse. Hell, I didn't even go through my mom's purse. How many of you guys at 5 years old would go through someone else's purse or any of their belongings? That was something you're taught at a very young age, or at least I was born in 1980, so I'm an 80s baby. But you don't touch other people's shit. I mean, granted, it could be my mom's, but I still didn't do that unless I was told I could. So the fact of the matter is, any 5-year-old going into other people's stuff, you're not raising your kid right. You got to set boundaries. They got to know. Please let me know if y'all agree with me, at least on that in the comments.
This because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole.
It's not just black fatigue. It's the ghetto-ness. And it ain't just blacks. They're sorry white people. I'm sick of liberal white women. They're just as obnoxious and act just as dumb as someone that is being ghetto. They both of them is the fact of you're entitled to something. A white liberal woman thinks she's entitled to everything. I am so sick of the white liberal woman. They make Free Palestine, something Gaza. That's all about them. Who's in the forefront? Oh, a white woman. BLM, Black Lives Matter. Who's in the front? A white woman. That shit gets old, man. So when I say it's tired of ghetto-ness and tired of privilege, not privilege, entitlement, not privilege, but it's the entitlement, and a lot of it comes from these so-called people that go around talking about white privilege. Meanwhile, they are white and they are married to another white person. So it's complete redundancy. It's stupidity.
is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs. Every single...
Oh, definitely. You get called cracker, you get called honky, you get called redneck, you get called everything. There's a little clip I seen, which I did not know that's where it stood from. It's where it talks about Irish were the first slaves that were brought to America. Slaves have been ever since mankind was formed, and we figured out we can make someone else do the work, so we didn't have to. That's just in general around the world. Didn't matter what continent you were on, there was slavery going on within their own people. Now we're just slaves to the government. But
day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I accidentally hit a button on my thing and it made it start playing. But no, the word redneck, since Irish were the first slaves, they showed because they would have whip lash, like where they took whips and they slashed them across the neck, and it made them have a redneck. That's how they got the name redneck. I never knew that's where it came from. You know, of course, growing up, I was thinking as a kid, I'm like, yeah, sunburn, that would make a redneck. And a lot of people thought sunburn was it, but obviously not. I mean, because I guess anybody can be a redneck, which it's still true. I know plenty of black rednecks. I do. So you ain't gotta be white to be a redneck. But anyway, yes, there's this thing where everyone that isn't white thinks they can't be racist, and that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior. People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff. That's life. It's not normal to threaten to unalive people because you don't like what they're doing. You're getting sick and tired of opening...
And at the same time, doing the exact thing that you're getting mad at her about. Judging people on the color of their skin, and you're having a problem with just that color skin.
TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like
brawls at Disney World, Disneyland, whatever it was. I just know it was about 50, 60 black people, and it was two different families or something like that, but that were just brawling, going at it, and it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? How is it y'all are able to take all this money to go on this trip, to go to this place, and then act like that when you get there?
like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired of it. But then whining and complaining and acting like it's not your fault that you act that way. Yeah, we're kind of...
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with it. I'm tired of the victim mentality. That it's always someone else's fault. But at the same time, and I'm talking about certain rappers have done it. Certain football stars like what's-his-face, Colin Kaepernick, sitting there with millions in the bank, playing on national or worldwide television, going take a knee because you don't do this, but yet you're making millions of dollars. How many black neighborhoods you help out there, Colin Kaepernick, before you lost all your deals and made it where motherfuckers are going to disrespect the best country in the world and its anthem? Motherfucker, and the thing is, he looked like he part white. He ain't all black. I don't see any people in Africa show up with light. There ain't no light-skinned Africans.
We're kind of over it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anybody disagree with her?
I can see one right now. This one. She disagrees with it. You see the face she's making already and turning her head and already rocking off tops. I'm blocking the one at the bottom, but there's nowhere I can go. There's so many people on this.
Okay. Do white people have the right to be upset of the ratchet behavior going on in the black community?
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you that this is just from a simple stand that it ain't even just a white person. But yes, we catch the flack for it because there was black slave owners, believe it or not. There was. And the blacks that are in Africa, their ancestors is the one that sold y'all to the ancestors of the one that came here. And for those of y'all that don't know, I am part Cherokee. So yes, my ancestors lost this land, and yet at the same time, my other ancestors took this land. So anyway, the average taxpayer. Like, dude, I remember when I had my son, me and my wife were barely getting by. And she had applied for food stamps because we were literally barely getting by. And they said that she made too much money. Not including we had car payments, mortgage, insurance, everything else under the sun. Made too much money. You gotta get a few hours less at work a week or get paid less an hour to get any help from us. So my ex-wife, she figured out how to play the system, and granted, me and her weren't together for the majority of forever, but she figured out how to play the system, and she played the hell out of it, but she ended up quitting working. And then she got everything she ever, I guess, wanted. She had to live in some rough spots, too. But the average taxpayer, we're tired of busting our ass for part of our paycheck to be given to people that do not even try. It's one thing if you're asking for help and you're attempting. It's another thing to be asking for help, meanwhile simultaneously laying on your back making more babies so you get a bigger welfare check. I think if you don't make a certain amount of money per year, your tubes should be tied, and however they get guys on something, same for them. Ain't no, cause I ain't gonna lie, I'm supposed to have 9 baby mamas and 14 kids, but I don't. I only have 2. A couple of them were miscarriages, but the rest, you know, they was something else. You know, I don't like talking about that. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, had I not had my son, I wouldn't have my daughter because I wouldn't have known my ex-wife, because me and my ex-wife were split when she found out that she was pregnant with my son. And then we ended up having my daughter. But back then, and as of now, it's still all up to the woman. And then if they want it, you got to pay child support. I paid child support for 21 years, but I didn't get to see my kids for most of that time because of my ex-wife. If I didn't give her money, I didn't get to see the kids. But I paid my child support, but she wanted more money.
She said a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
One mic, go
I'm
ahead.
kind of glad they're standing up for themselves.
Huh?
It's like they
Oh,
just was being weird with
she
all
said standing up for themselves, and I couldn't hear it. I don't know if it was her microphone or what, but something was cutting out.
the Black Lives Matter signs, saying shit that they really don't mean. I feel like everybody
And that right there, just what she just said, that is the rich liberal women that don't work, that have time to be making protest signs and go stand on the street, and or it's where these NGOs that they've been finding out have been siphoning money to Al Qaeda and all these other places are also paying all these protesters. Because if you notice, you'll see a protest in fucking Oregon or California, but then you'll see that exact same person in New York, then you'll see that exact same person down in Atlanta. So it's like they're just paying people to show up. But yeah, I get it. Because a lot of people, like, it's either all lives matter, all, when in reality, it's your life matters. You know damn well that's it. Of course, you don't want your friends dying, you don't want your family dying, but most of all, you don't want you dying. But why is a white woman standing out there saying Black Lives Matter? We all know this. We know Black Lives Matter. But so do whites, and so do Asians, and so does Mexicans. All lives matter. And then you're racist for saying it, that all lives matter. But it's the fucking truth. That I can stand behind. I can stand behind all lives matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. But does it matter over my life? No. Because if my life ain't here, it doesn't die. You know what I'm saying? Everyone needs to value their own life and they need to value the people around them's lives. And that's it. This whole protesting shit's got to stop. Talking about free Palestine. Fuck Palestine. I don't live in Palestine. I don't know anyone from Palestine. I'm sorry, but the Palestinian people voted in Hamas. Did Americans' governments have something to do with it? I don't know. More than likely they did. But back to the subject at hand. I'm going to shut up. I'm getting on tangents already.
He has a right to say and do whatever they feel like doing. And you
Right, but then you get the lynch mob after you're saying you're a racist and that they want to kill white people or kill you if you do say it. So you agree with it, but someone just that looks a lot like you fucking is a 180, complete opposite.
and you do too. It's called free will. You can be racist, your choice. I think you should allow people to be exactly who they are so you know who you're dealing with. I think
So, see, that's kind of what I was saying, because, see, it's all about the content of your character. Because, dude, I know black guys that have been a million times nicer, more honest, and truthful than white guys. But I've also known some white guys that are the exact same over black. It all depends on the person. If you're a fake person, then fuck you. That's how I feel.
think everybody just like to be lied to. They don't like
Some,
reality.
Okay. So did
I think
anybody screw her?
I think it's more ghetto fatigue, if anything, because
if y'all go back and watch one of my other videos, I just posted it, I think yesterday, maybe the day before. I said those exact words. I said, well, no. I did say ghetto fatigue, but I said it's not black fatigue, it's N-word fatigue or ghetto fatigue or the fact of not having any moral. We're just tired of that. Being loud, obnoxious, but you ain't got to be black to be fatigued of that type of person. I've seen some white trash, redneck hill. I've seen them all, and so have you. They act wild for no damn reason. Uh, I can't deal with that. And maybe that's what part of the country is doing. Maybe the people that were standing up for something when they were younger, they're finally getting some age to them. Because I'm going to tell you, from the time I was 21 to the time I'm 44, I've changed. It's got to the point where I really don't care. You know how they used to say, like, don't ever mess with an old man because an old man don't give no F's. Because he's lived his life. He's done what he wants to do. He don't care. That's how I am.
Yes.
if it can be black fatigue all you want, but I'm tired of all the ghetto hot mess too. So I see it mostly in the black community. However, I see it with all skin
Mm,
tones. I educate my daughter personally to
round
call
of
people the
applause for
color of
her.
wheat. We're all different shades of wheat. There's nobody that's black. There's nobody that's white. We're all different shades. We're all
My thing is, and I don't know if it'll get brought up in this video, and I really haven't watched this video. I think it's crazy she said the things she said after I had said it. But no, it's if you were born in America, like if I don't get the whole African American thing. Unless you came from Africa and now carry the American flag, then you're an African American. Otherwise, I mean, what am I? Am I European, indigenous, American? Like, am I going to go back to my ancestors that were Cherokee and my ancestors that come from wherever in Europe? That's why I don't know. I don't know where my white comes from. I don't know if it's, Germany. I don't know if it's England. I have no idea. But is that what we're all need to do? We all need to go back to our roots and then go back to their roots and go back to their roots. Well, then, if that's the case, supposedly it all started in one spot and then spread out. So then we're all the same. I just don't understand why you're adding African American to it. I think because black people from America that are just black Americans, they are completely different than Africans.
human, but it's the ghetto hot mess that is I'm tired. I am tired of it.
I'm gonna tell you now. Maybe he'll mention it. I don't know if he will or not. This is what I think it is. And I've heard like Officer Tatum. I want to say the Hodge twins. Hodge twins talk about sub-Saharan. But no, I think when the government started putting out welfare and Section 8, and the man could not live in the house in order for you to get the Section 8 housing and the food stamps, the man could not be there. That man being taken out of the house is done the most damage to the black community than anything. Like someone had said, the KKK wishes they could have killed black men on the rate that black men are killing themselves. And the thing is, they're being raised by women, and you know, women are more emotional. They are. They run more off emotion. They're more caring. They're more loving. That's why they're so good with raising kids or caring to kids. But the father needs to be in the house because the father sets boundaries, guidelines, and stuff like that. Well, when they stripped the man out of the house, it made it where they're raising men 100% off of emotions. And then when a little scuffle breaks out or some name calling gets going, before you know it, people are getting shot. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of the black like.
I would agree that.
Go ahead, Jalen.
Was it Miss Freckles? Her point that because the black community is already a small community, even when you have a small portion of people that's promoting the generous.
Okay, how is it the black community is small? I mean, I hear all this, the country's 70% white and 13% black. Have you been outside, or do I just live in more cultured areas than I thought? Because anytime I go out, if I'm driving, most people I see are not white. They're not. I think the census is messed up. Because like Doge, you know, the thing that Elon Musk, that little motherfucker, I don't like him now that he's went yapping off about Trump. But anyway, if there's people that've been dead for 200 years still getting Social Security, and there's people getting Social Security that hadn't been born yet, what race are they? Because I think they got the percentages off. I think it's more like 30% black, 40% white, and then the rest. I don't know. I just don't think it's 13%. I just don't think that's it.
To receive the ghetto behavior, the not knowing how to conduct themselves in public spaces, it gives a whole bad reputation to the black community in itself. So I think she's just saying like the black community, you really don't have room to be acting ratchet, ghetto, hood.
And like I said, I think that's due to not having a man in the house to straighten shit out and set rules and boundaries, be talking to women all types of way. Because I know damn well had I ever talked to my mama the way some of these motherfuckers be talking to women, my dad would have knocked my head off, yo. I wouldn't be here today. Y'all know it too.
And like you don't have any common sense when people before us sacrificed a lot just to make sure that we can get an education.
Yeah, but you also got to think, it's the people that don't live in the hood, don't live in the middle to lower class. They don't live in these areas setting the rules. And they're like, oh, just like the governor from New York or whoever it was saying, yeah, black people don't even know what a computer is. What you fucking mean they don't know what a computer is? So then when someone gets in trouble, they're like, oh, it's okay, and coddle them and let them right back out and not put them in jail. And then they go do something else before you know it, they're killing each other. They've done so much destruction to the black family. The people that are making the rules, they're intentionally doing it to keep our eyes off of them. And they are destroying a lot of families, a lot.
And have jobs and have our families. The least you can do is conduct yourself like you have sense and like you've had people to fight for you before you even born. So that's that.
I heard her talking on another video. It might have been like the original clip. I don't know how long the original one was, but it was all the exact same people, and she was wearing the same thing, and so was he. But she, her microphone had went out, but she had gotten called out for the way she was acting, and she kind of at first got upset, but then she started smiling because she knew she was wrong.
Yeah, but gentleness and dignity is not boiled down to just black people, though. Like, let's not act like black people are the only people fighting on cruises or the only people who have.
Have you ever seen a 30 on 30 of white people? Because I haven't. The only time I see anything like that, it's at a mosh pit at some concert, but they're all just running around swinging, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But when do you see white people in groups? I never do. That's one thing I've always been jealous of compared to the black community, because, you know, growing up as a kid, yeah, blacks always stick together, but you got the rednecks, you got the preps, you got your regular white boys, then you got the skateboarders, you got all these classes. And you ever seen a white man get jumped? You ever see another white man jump in? You see a black man get jumped by someone of another race? I guarantee you every brother there gonna hop in. Which I understand why. I mean, if you're the minority and the majority is the one doing the jumping, then yes, I 100% get it. But have you ever seen 10 versus 10, white on whites, 20 versus 20? No, but I can look up 100 videos of either brown or black skin that's got 20 on 20. Shootings, everything.
Out of pocket behavior. So I don't like the term black fatigue, but I do think that, you know, there is a group of people who exhibit certain behaviors.
Which is what group of people?
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
what group?
Hold on. I ain't never seen no white people fight on no cruise line. Maybe it's my black.
Thank you, thank you, Island Gal Q. Thank you.
White people be fighting too.
They do be fighting. We just don't see.
Yeah, but that's very far and few between. The only time I've seen any kind of damn ass beating going on between like 10 white dudes and 2 white dudes was at a keg party I went to back in 1996, bruh. That was the only time. Old boy tried to roll his window up. They grabbed the window and bam! Popped that door open and yanked them out the car so damn quick. Woo-wee! But no, I've never seen 20 on 20. I've never seen it. White people throwing hands on a cruise. No, I ain't never been on a cruise. I wish I could.
See it because, you know, you got black Twitter and then you have the opposing.
But it's not a norm.
And why is that? Why is there got to be a black TikTok, a black dating app, a black this, a black that? But also, you can get onto the regular one, the one you call other, but yet you're on there too. Why don't you just get on what we got?
The norm for them.
How would we know?
Like,
Nikki, are you white? Would you know? I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. Well, I'm around white people a lot, and I'm around black people a lot. But let me first, I want to make my point about the video. I don't think that if I'm not mad, I get it. Like what's your name? Nara.
Yeah, Nara.
Yes.
Oh, the girl I said thank you to, her name is Q. I see the names now up above the @ symbol thing.
Nara. I do agree with her. Like I was kind of like, okay, I've been seeing white people, they're starting to stand up for themselves. But I don't think it's necessarily that they even think so much about us like black people think they do, that they care about the ratchetness because it's affecting us. But I think the main issue is we keep blaming them.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the main things I have. Like, okay, here's a situation I had growing up in middle school. I ain't going to say his last name, but his first name was Charles. His daddy was a doctor, his mama was a lawyer, and he was black. But he had just came to our school, and he had been there about a year. And like I've said in other videos, I used to always sit with all the black dudes. I was the only white dude sitting with them. They called us the Oreo. He come up to me one day. He's like, yo, what's your deal? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you want to be black or something? I was like, no, what the fuck you talking about? My boy D'Angelo was like, yo, man, leave him the fuck alone, man. He's like, he's with us. And he's like, nah, man, you want to be black. And I'm like, nah, this is my friends, man. Like, I felt like I was being singled out. And then it's, I want to be black. When I'm sitting there hanging out with all the black guys that I've grown up with, I've played football with since I was 7 years old. And at this time, I'm like 13, maybe somewhere around in there. Anyway, it really rubbed me the wrong way. He's the first one that I ever sat back and looked like, man, fuck you. It's what I wanted to say. I never said it. But that right, he was fed the whole victimhood shit. Meanwhile, his mama's a lawyer, his daddy's a doctor, and now he owns a barber shop. Motherfucker ain't struggled a day. Motherfucker has a swimming pool in his backyard, everything, acting like the struggle's real. Meanwhile, this motherfucker, man, that right there rubbed me the wrong way, man. But that's a bit and piece of my life that I just felt like saying. That, yeah, that right there is when I first realized it, and that's when I started seeing it.
Why they're hard to speak up? Because they're tired of both behavior, but the main part is we're blaming them. Black people blame the white people for everything.
Yeah, I have never owned a slave. Neither has my grandma, my grandpa, my great-grandma, my great-grandpa. None of them. None of y'all been a slave. We're all slaves to working. Because if you don't work, you ain't going to have nothing. But, yeah, blaming the white man for every single issue that you have has gotten out of control. I mean, if you go to an interview and you talking in street slang and you got tattoos on your face and the job you're doing has something to do with customer service and you don't get the job, it's not because of the white man. At least you could talk proper. You should have had the common sense to not get tattoos on your face. Like, I've wanted a tattoo on my neck forever. Never did get it. And I'll tell y'all what that tattoo... My ex-wife, she asked me would I get her name tattooed on me. I said, I'll do you one better. I said, I'll get slut tattooed right here on my neck and take care of all you hoes. And man, I did want to get it. But I didn't.
Showing everything that's going on.
No, we don't blame them for every issue that's going on, but there's definitely
You
some
don't?
things that they played a part in, but we're not saying they're the...
They played a part in. Who's they? People that you didn't know and people that were alive 2 centuries ago, 4 centuries ago? Those people? Which is the same people that ran half of them or part of my people off? Because this used to be Cherokee land where I'm living. But it ain't Cherokee land now. We had the Trail of Tears and all that. But yeah, do I hold it against it? No. Here's the thing. I've said it in a couple of my videos that deal with the race thing. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to shut up. If everything in history didn't happen the way it happened between your mom and dad, your grandpa, your grandma, and so forth up the line, if it didn't happen then, if you got put into a sock, if you got put into the carpet, someone's back, like, you get what I'm saying? You wouldn't be here. Granted, things have happened that were wrong in the past. I'm not saying anything was perfect. I'm just saying if it didn't happen the way it was, you wouldn't be alive today. Had your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather just waited an extra 5 minutes or maybe an hour to do the deed, then his son would have been a different son. Because you get what I'm saying? Dude, if it didn't happen the way it happened when it happened, there's a very slim chance because not every one of your ancestors would have met each other had they still been in Africa. One might have been pulled from the west side of Africa and brought here. The other might have been from the east side or north and south. Who knows? They would have never met each other. They would have been in their tribes. Or, well, they would have still been captured. They would have been slaves, but sent off to Arabia, which got 75% of them.
The total blame for that.
But nobody says that. Like no,
So
the
who's
loudest
nobody?
voices don't say that. The loudest voices are not saying that.
What are they?
I'm actually surprised you're saying that.
What are they responsible for today that we need to blame them for?
Thank you.
I will say that due to a lot of things that have happened throughout history, that does bleed into society today.
He just said, what are we responsible for today? In the 50s, y'all had a better marriage rate than white people. Meaning white people had divorces more often than any black family. And honestly, I kind of think that's part why the government did it, because they didn't want to be outdone. They didn't want the white race to be lower. That's what I think. Was it true? I don't know. All I do know is they interjected welfare and Section 8, and it destroyed mainly the black community. Yes, it destroyed white families too for the ones that went to it. But it mainly targeted the blacks. And then I used to wonder why I always heard, the white man sold drugs to us and got us hooked on crack. No, you know what happened? They went to war. Black men went and fought in the war, and they got hooked on opiates when they were in Vietnam. They got hooked on, like every different country around the world had a certain drug there that their population was used to, and our American soldiers, white and black, got hooked on it. And then, since they had a friendship or a bondship with the people over there, they started being able to get it back here to the stateside. And then they sold it to the community. Yeah, it destroyed white families. Dude, I've known whites on cocaine and everything too. I've known them on crack. I've known them on everything. It's not just the black community. And our government partially let it slide because I'm sure they were getting kicked back somewhere. And also, it was tearing up, it was dividing people up. It was separating them, getting them arguments started.
To some extent, I don't think that some of the segregation or some of the things that went on within the black community, I don't think all of that has completely went away. Now, are there more opportunities for black folks to succeed? Yes.
Dude, y'all can get hired for the simple fact of your skin tone. I've seen it happen, and I've known of it happening where it's like a company has to have, say, 20% of their workforce has to be other than white. And someone puts in the application that should have got that job. But due to the fact that they didn't have the bare minimum they were supposed to have, they gave it to someone that was less qualified. Me personally, if I have to go get a heart transplant at a hospital, I don't give a fuck what color the person is doing it, as long as they're the best one available for the job. I mean, if we put that rule into everything, the NBA, since the country is 70% white, the NBA should be 70% white and only 13% black. That'll make it nice and even. Would you still be watching the NBA?
Yes. Do I think that black people play a part in their demise sometimes? Yes. But I also think that on the flip side of that, there is some truth to there still being some bias out there. There's still being some racism out there. And I will say that maybe it's not as blatant. And maybe sometimes white folks can be unintentionally biased when it comes to certain.
What about these black women freely just calling white people any name in the book? And they just assume they ain't racist, or I can't be racist. I seen a video the other day where a black lady laughed and said, I can't be fucking racist toward no white man. It was Pierce Morgan or some shit. Yeah, it was Pierce Morgan and some black lady. And I'm sitting there like, it's actually sad because she believed it. Thinks racism's one way, like anti-Semitism, which is a new word getting thrown around every other second of every other day. These are touchy
certain
subjects.
things, or they might have unconscious thoughts that they're not intentionally trying to be a way, but maybe they just are a certain way based
Like
on
you
how
are
they were
right now.
raised, who they were around, some of the things that they heard, and so forth.
Like you are right now.
I would
So,
say
You're,
I think that
so
delusional.
she's
so you think
repeating
that
things that
so
she
you think
grew up
that white
around.
people are intentionally or unintentionally or blatantly or subconsciously causing harm to black people today?
To an extent, but everybody has bias. It's not just limited to white people. Black people have bias
What do you mean to an extent? Name one thing that a white person has done to a black person to harm them. And I don't want to hear shit like George Floyd.
Like,
too.
give me an example. Give me a little, like
Thank
a real
you.
concrete example.
Of what? Being like unconsciously biased or like blatantly biased?
How are they causing harm to black people today specifically?
Damn, he gonna get it.
Get
it, bro.
Have you heard of white fragility or like white tears? When we talk about corporate America, or
that's racist right fucking there. White tears. The fuck are you talking about? Wow.
in the workspace, right? For an example, sometimes you do have, and I've heard stories like this where when black women have felt.
See, you're going off of things you've been told, which you're trying to say. Some people been raised up around and were raised around the wrong people and heard things, and here you are doing that exact fucking thing.
Boxed in the workplace based off of how they identify, and a lot of that can be due to experiences or interactions that they've had with white women, or let's just say a white woman.
This is new to me. So
well, let me explain. For an example, you might have a white coworker who's very passive at work, but then
how does that hurt you?
If a black woman addresses the situation, she could, now I'm intimidated, or she did X, Y, and Z, or she made me feel away. So there are some ways that maybe
each and every one of y'all have seen a black woman lose their shit. And a lot of times it's the bigger ones doing it. Not saying like overweight. I'm just saying they bigger and they losing their shit. And they want, instead of trying to handle something calmly, you rather get an attitude, throw racism in it, slavery in it, and before you know it, you got this big fucking whirlwind of shit flying at someone. Of course they're going to feel intimidated.
Maybe white folks can still be harmful. They could be biased in a way of, I gave that example before where I had somebody say, well, why can't people...
Well, hold on. I don't want you to jump over examples because I'm slow.
Okay.
So
I was just about to say maybe I'm fucking retarded, which I might be. Bitch, I might be. Bitch, I might be. But no, I was like, dude, you're not mentioning an actual way that someone has hurt.
I'll be trying to catch up.
But I do believe a lot of it is...
Hold on, Jess. Let me ask my question.
Okay.
So they felt... What did they feel? What did the black women feel in the workplace?
For an example, there have been situations where, and I've also I've felt this before, where I've had a coworker who did not identify as black, and they were very passive in a way that they...
I'm sorry. You can't identify as a different color. Because we've had this about the whole trans thing and everything. You think you're a butterfly, a they, them. Oh, and you're black when you're white as snow. Okay. Yeah, you're retarded.
They handled things that affected me. Now,
so what should they have done?
And how did it harm you?
Been more aggressive. And
not necessarily aggressive, but if there's an issue, if there's something going on, I think there's an appropriate way to address a coworker, and there's a very passive aggressive.
Who's going to be the aggressive type? You think it's the black woman or the white woman? But you still haven't listed how it harmed you. Granted, I guess you could have lost your job depending on how you acted. That's another main thing, guys, is where it's like you're the minority. Ancestors were slaves. You think, because not all black people's ancestors were slaves. No, not all. But they assume that they were slaves just because of the color of their skin. They assume the white man was never a slave. They assume no other race was ever a slave either. And Chinese, they got it real bad. But anyhow, it's the victimhood. Getting to cry victim for so long without any repercussions has gotten to the point to where y'all don't even realize when you're being racist yourself.
It's a way to do that.
Like what? Give me a real example. What happened?
It never happened.
I'd rather not get into that on this particular platform, but
imagine that. She says she can't get into it on that platform. Why did you go, because nothing harmed you. It ain't got nothing to do with sex at work with a white woman.
I will say that I have seen that happen where
seen what happened?
A white woman was passive about how y'all felt that they should have handled the situation. That somehow affects.
No, they were passive aggressive in a particular work situation that happened. So something happened at work that caused a rift between two co-workers, and it harmed white co-worker was very passive aggressive in how they handled the situation. Whereas the black woman was more direct in the situation. The white woman ended up going to hire.
Hey, what about off rip? I can tell you something that's somewhat new. What about the black lady that worked for something in the government that said she found a noose on her desk magically the day before she was supposed to be in court, but found a noose on her desk? Everybody in the office, you had these BLM protesters standing outside. And I mean, it's such a dangerous place to work for someone black. I don't think you should be standing outside of it protesting it if it's that dangerous. I mean, you're seeing people hanging from trees outside. I wouldn't be standing out there. But then when it come down and the FBI stepped in and started getting everybody's DNA, only one person wouldn't turn in their DNA. You know who that one person was? And it turned out her DNA was on the inside of the knots of the noose. It was the black lady.
Higher leadership saying, hey, I feel intimidated. She's angry.
You getting put on the spot.
And gave all of these different outliers or all of these different characteristics to this black woman who just said, hey, like, what's the issue? What's the problem? Who was very direct,
really?
But wasn't angry.
Because that's how black women do. They just walk up and say, yes. Well, what's the deal? What's the issue? I just needed to know. They don't do no head bobbing. They don't be throwing around stuff like they own it. No! Just being nice. It's like, hey, could I please get some clarification? That's how she was. That's why she can't talk about it on this platform.
Angry, didn't have all of these stereotypes that typically black women sometimes get in corporate America working period.
So it sounds like
victim.
Y'all
You're
making up stuff to be offended by.
No, it's the white woman's playing victim. It says
it's the white woman playing victim.
Okay, hold on, wait. So is it Deja?
Yeah.
All right, what's going on, Deja?
How you doing?
So white women are playing victim, which then says that black women are being affected by their victim mentality.
Oh, yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that happens. So
I mean, you were raised by a victim, I'm assuming, and so therefore you're going to be a victim yourself. And you're automatically going to say it's the other person being the victim and you're being the bigger person about the deal. And you're going to brush it off your shoulders and keep going. Or are you the victim?
My first opinion is not happening at large in my world. I'm not having that. But what I can say is what happened. No, hear me out.
I'm listening.
That's our point. She just said, I ain't having that. So you're telling me a white woman playing the victim, you ain't having that though. So if you get like reprimanded at job, you did something wrong and you're getting wrote up for it, and that white woman's the one that brought it up, you gonna let that slide? I don't think so. That is the reaction I would expect. Not from all, by no means. I've met plenty of nice black women. Plenty.
My friends, they tell me their experiences.
See, neither one of y'all got your own experience.
Okay, so a black woman's personality most of the time is, we're very direct when we speak. And white people have a way, just white
very
victimhood.
They
have a way.
So hold on.
Yeah, white women and white men, they try not to get in arguments, especially at work. So they keep to themselves. They talk to their people, meaning their friends. And they deal with it that way because they don't want a big scene, because they already know what's going to happen. The victim card is going to get thrown out there. Oh, they're attacking me. We're tired of that. What this one right here and this one right here have done is exactly what we're tired of. You're playing a victim, and neither one of you got an actual story that happened to you. Nothing happened. You're in the wrong, but you don't want to admit it. Fuck.
Hold on, wait. So let's minus out. Let's minus out. So y'all got an attitude problem, okay?
No.
Can I add to what both of them?
My man. See, I'll get called racist for all the shit I just been talking, saying how they get attitudes and then start, throwing shit around. But they do. Not saying all, by no means. Hell, there's a lot of white people that are 1,000% racist and give every white person a bad name. There's a lot of thugs and gangsters and ratchet ass motherfuckers that give the blacks a bad name. And people like Anton Daniels there, he can't stand it. Neither can the black conservative, damn Kingdom Reacts, fucking Hodge twins, Officer Tatum. I can list them off on and on. They're all tired of being lumped into the ghetto-ness and the victimhoodness. They're done with it. Stop being victims. Stop letting someone else control your life with a fucking false narrative.
Hold on. Let's have this conversation. So wait. All right. So y'all got an attitude problem that y'all don't want to address. And instead of y'all being a cultural fit and adjusting to the environment that you're in, you expect for the world to adjust around you. All right, keep going.
No. I mean, it could be perceived that way, but that is not exactly
I'm sorry, Jess. I'm sorry. You said you didn't really want to go into your example and be specific.
You got it.
So give me a second. Is this... Are you exhibiting black woman attitude right now?
I don't have an attitude.
See, now, if a white man said that, just say a white boss was dealing with this situation and had all his black colleagues on this video call, and he said what that man right there just said. Let's see, that smile, that smile, that smile, that smile, and that smile, and that smile. Every one of them would be upside down. Agree?
See, now I feel like you playing.
I'm just trying to understand where this aggression is coming from. Why?
And see, that's how I get along with a lot of the black people, or not black people, black women. Like the way they started laughing. I mean, because you catch them in a catch-22, and they caught, and now they all smiling, and they realizing it. He got them. Cool.
Why are black women interrupting me when I'm trying to talk to another black woman? Go ahead, sincerely. Help me to understand. So, bad attitude, workplace, go.
Okay, so imagine this, right? Imagine a person, you and her have a regular work rapport, regular relationship, nothing bad, nothing good, just a regular work relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have an incident where the white woman may feel maybe intimidated. Maybe she feels.
All right, so that is back to what he said. A black woman has an attitude. Because for no reason should anyone feel intimidated unless that person is doing something to make them feel intimidated. That's the only way you can do it. I'm not going to intimidate someone if I'm laughing and being nice. But if I'm all up in your face and damn bobbing my head and damn cussing you out, you might feel intimidated. It all depends on who it is, the situation, and how they're acting. So she's admitting that she intimidated somebody.
Feels like you do your job better than she does. Her job, whatever the case may be. I don't want to get into, just like Jess said, a specific example.
Yeah, but okay. You don't have to give the person's first and last name and social security number. Just tell us what happened.
But let's just say
this is all case, imaginary
right?
stuff.
Instead of the white woman just saying that, oh, I don't like this about you. I don't like that you do your job better than me, or I don't like.
Now, why would they say, I don't like that you do your job better than me? What person says that? Man, I don't like you be doing my job better than I can do it. Why are you so much more qualified than me? And she moving all around the camera. Stop, Anna.
Let's use your example. I don't like that your personality is the way that it is. I don't like that.
Is that what they would say? I don't like that your personality.
Wait for a scenario.
I already see your head bobbing. Like I said, she's a little bigger. Because, I mean, of course, there's everybody in America is damn near overweight. I'm overweight. To me, I'm used to being 150 pounds, and now I weigh 200. All due to my surgeries and shit, and I couldn't get up and do much. I couldn't use my dominant arm, nothing like that. But I could just see, I don't know how tall she is or nothing like that, but I can see. Because, I'm not going to lie. Black women are known to be swinging on black dudes, white dudes. They're not afraid to swing on somebody. So a white woman, which usually a white woman don't go around swinging on people. Not saying that black women do. I'm just saying I've seen black women swing on people. I haven't seen a white woman swing on no one, really. I've seen maybe one or two videos out there, but it's not, if you look it up right now on YouTube, I think it'd be much easier to find a black woman swinging on somebody first.
Where they can feel like, oh no, she did, and then no one cares about the situation at hand when a white woman is crying. They just care about making that person feel.
So wait a minute, it's only supposed to be when the black woman's crying. So again, you're putting it back to race again.
Feel safe and feel comfortable in that situation.
Why shouldn't everyone feel safe? It ain't just the white woman that wants to feel safe. Your black friend beside you, she don't want you damn snapping on her either. Nobody does. Everybody want to feel safe. Why are you making it out that you didn't make it feel safe? And it's only the white woman that was damn nervous about it. Or was the white woman the one that caught the brunt of the attitude and also felt like you were going to try to whoop her ass? Like black people don't group up together. Like I said before, I don't see groups of white people walking with each other. I don't. We're too fractioned out. We got the rednecks, the damn preps, we got the skateboarders, we got this, we got that. We got like 40 different fractions.
And then it can negate that the person, let's say the black woman, didn't do anything wrong. She did nothing wrong, but the white woman is portraying it that.
Go ahead, Dalen.
So what happens in that? How do you then get disciplined?
Sometimes if it's the HR situation, it would be HR's discretion, but you can get wrote up. You can
nobody is writing.
But that's still not harm to the black race. Is it? That's the case. I've done harm to the white race because I've been wrote up.
You up for making somebody feel
uncomfortable. You just don't know.
Yes, they
yeah,
do.
Yeah.
You can say that.
I think that
professional.
Stop. Nobody is getting written up. Nobody is getting put on a pip. Nobody is getting written up because
yes, they are, Anton.
Maybe Anton is trying to say it shouldn't get to that point, but we're saying like people abuse their position of power and authority.
That ain't a race thing. It don't matter what color you are. If you're the manager and you let power go to your head, you can abuse it. That is what I've said from the get-go. It's the elite and powerful that are the ones pulling all this race shit.
It will manipulate being able to do so. And I actually have an example. One that just
you got an example. So all of y'all been discriminated against in the workplace. Okay.
No, this is about me.
Yeah, it seems like a trend here, Anton. Man, I wish I could be in on one of these calls. I like these videos so far.
No. Let's get to Dalen.
Real quick.
Dalen, you look exceptionally well today, so I want to give you a compliment. Go ahead, Dalen.
So, at my previous job, there was a Black female coworker and a white, or should we say like a Hispanic one, but it's more like.
So wait a minute, wait. I'm sorry, Dalen. Give me a second. Okay. So all of these things that y'all saying is hearsay. You heard it from a person.
Oh no.
From a person.
I was just about to say. I said that earlier. I moved it so you can see everybody's face, so everybody know who everybody is. But anyway, guys, I'm just watching. But that is what I said. So far, it's all hearsay. And yet, there's no actual facts been given so far, in my eyes.
Well, your friend came. So none of you actually experienced this.
Oh, I thought she froze up. I thought she was frozen.
You heard from a person that you heard from a person, right?
Well, I could give my own example, but I like telling other people.
No, she didn't, did she? She did.
Not my own.
Well, no, because I'm confused. How do y'all know if all I hear is gossip?
Oh no, this could be half of this story is verifiable. I'm gonna make it brief.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so a situation occurred where the Black female, the Black woman was, I guess, receiving some attributes and accolades at work, and she was sharing it with someone, the white woman whom we had a mutual rapport with. And she was intimidated because certain people in our department were getting raises. We got like 3 raises in like the
first. How do you know
she
was intimidated?
Well, because she was intimidated. We'll talk, because I remember one day my salary came up and she figured out what it was, and she was like, "That's what y'all make." And
wait. Why would your salary come up?
But had it been the other way around, had the white woman been making all the money, would you have felt intimidated because of that? I wouldn't. But also, I would see another victimhood. Oh, well, I'm getting paid less because I'm Black, not because I don't do the job as good. But I don't know. I mean,
come on, why would you share yourself? You know that's. Wait, hold on. Because for some reason, y'all don't understand that I've ascended to the highest levels of corporate America.
Yes.
That is not something that you are supposed to share with your coworkers.
It's not.
Why are you sharing unless you work in a public sector to where your salary is then being able to be looked up on the internet by everybody and people can research it? If you work in a private sector, your salary is not supposed to be shared in the first place. So how would that come up?
I agree with that. So it came about that our company was going to do market value pay increases, I guess. And this individual, for a fact, did hear it from another person in my department who was bragging because people that don't have no money, when they get some, they want to tell people. So she confirmed it with me, trying to like get the word of mouth. Is this true? Are they doing this for people in your department? So because I didn't say yes or no, people take a no answer as the answer that they're already leaning towards.
And they were obviously right.
So this other individual, they kind of bumped heads. So when she was like, "Hey, I did this and this is going on. I built this program and, I'm a mentor for this person now." And this white woman said, "So what do you want to freaking gold star or something?" And then the Black woman responded, which I know she did because she was on a Zoom. She was muted, but she was like, when she unmuted, she told me, "I don't want fucking shit from you." And then that white woman went telling everybody in the office, even in other offices.
All right. So the Black woman was inappropriate in her communication. And then the white woman went and told right?
Inappropriate. I think if you are telling someone, what do you want, a freaking gold star? Because if the black woman said that to her, then she would be deemed as aggressive. Why are you propositioning
I'm
or
saying that if you want, what do you want, a gold star?
no, don't dismiss the freaking. Because if I use a word,
Was she asking for another raise? What was she asking for her to say, what do you want? A gold star?
Okay, so
well, she could have said freaking or fucking. I don't know. But the
so now you're adding to it. Okay, let's get it.
I don't know. I think it was freaking because that's what a white woman would say, but they will drop an F bomb.
That is because that's what a white woman would say. I'm sorry. My mom never said frickin'. She just didn't say it. And I wasn't allowed to cuss around her either, but I don't know any white woman that says frickin'. That's about one of the dumbest words.
Putting a little bit of seasoning on it to make it a little bit more spicy.
Bottom line is, you responded to a good thing that someone is trying to share in the workplace that they're doing that's conducive to.
Okay, so let me ask a question because I see you adding a little bit of seasoning.
No, let me get to the
throw a little Lawry's on there. So let me ask you a question.
Lawry's, that's too much.
Mike Lowry.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm Mike Lowry.
Why y'all can't just shut the fuck up and do your job?
We do when we quiet. It's a problem when we talk.
Hold on.
That is bullshit. I'm gonna tell you now. If we quiet, it's a problem. Name off all the times that you've been quiet and it was a problem. I'll wait, cause being quiet at work ain't a problem.
We can't be.
That was a rhetorical question because I know that that's impossible. You gotta gossip. You gotta go and share. You gotta go and talk shit. You gotta.
And that ain't even just a black woman thing. That's a woman thing. That's why I said taking men out of household has raised men off of emotions because they gossip.
Do the games. Of course, you want to see somebody that looks like you inside of corporate America in order for you to feel comfortable. All of that shit, right? We know that
is one thing that I know people have got to have gotten tired of. Oh, I gotta have someone that looks like me to feel comfortable, and before you know it, everybody look like you. Again, singling out the white man. We get blamed for everything that's here. Everyone that's illegal moves to the countries that the colonizers have colonized, built up, built the cities, got everything there, but you don't want to leave, but you hate the white man, and it's all the white man's fault. And then the white man gets to go try to get a job with a company that has to have a certain amount of people that are a certain race in order to meet a quota, whether they're qualified for the job or not. Meanwhile, the white man's got to struggle with that, and he's got to go against other white men, and he's got to go against the DEI hires, which can be anything, by the way. DEI hire it's usually a white woman. A white woman is who got hurt by the DEI hire shit. It really is. Like, do you really want lesbian dyke females being firefighters? Have y'all looked up the video where there's women firefighters trying to kick down a door to get inside to what would be a family of people that are burning alive, and a woman can't get the door down? Have y'all seen that? And yet you want the same pay just like the WNBA. You don't bring hundreds of millions of dollars in every year. You have to get your paycheck from the NBA. You're taking away their money that they earned, putting it on you, and then you want to make pay equal. That shit drives me nuts.
It's a thing. Why y'all can't just go? What? No. Why y'all can't go to work, do your job, and go to fuck home?
You know why? Because if you don't go to work and
you see the two reacting, right? Immediately. That's why they both had the stories.
Reserve, people say that you are hard to work with, difficult to work with.
I can see that.
Why don't you come to the Christmas party?
Okay, her, and her. All three of them, they fit that category of it's hard to work with them. All three of them. As soon as, half the time he ain't even finished with his sentence, and they've already chimed in or wanting to chime in and cut him off. But Q, O of the J&O show, Kamaya, Miss Freckles, Nikki Green, and Nara Alexis. I think that's Nara. Anyway, all of them, they're just sitting there. They don't seem like they'd be hard to work with at all. They really don't. But those three, those in particular, are not saying anything's wrong with them. I'm just saying, I can tell by the way that they're reacting to his questions that in a workplace environment, it's going to be an issue.
Party. Hey, we're going to whatever for a happy hour. If you don't want to socialize or force yourself to be likable, then you're deemed as a person that is not going to be up for promotion, that's not going to be up for raises. You're going to be deemed as difficult or hard to work with. But if you do get
she got her hands on
or
her
whatever,
head.
then you pose
she in agreement.
Nice.
She in agreement.
Nice
she just ain't saying
and
it.
Be professional and just do your job and just go home. And nobody.
That's what I'm gonna say. Why you just can't be regular?
Well, that's the end of that one. I wasn't expecting it to end like that. But she said, why can't you just be regular? And she didn't say nothing the whole time. Anyway, guys, let me know what y'all would like for me to react to. Here lately, I've been getting into this what I've been looking at videos like this. I like them. I hope one day maybe I can get in on a phone call on one of these or a video call, whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, I hope y'all all have a wonderful day, a beautiful night, whatever it may be. And I will see y'all on the next one.